He's gone through all of this, more than an average person in this country. He stood up in this country, he was arrested, he was locked up, he escaped through the borders, went on exile, fighting for democracy, fighting for the good of the people. So there's no way you would have him and then he will now ask people not to express themselves. Far from it. But under that, we must commend the Inspector General of Police and his men. And the same thing applies to other security agencies. They have done this country proud. They were so professional. In the face of provocation, they handled it very maturely. And if there is anything that confirms, it confirms that we are actually under a regime of renewed hope. Because it gives hope that people can be defiant, but they will still get the treatment they deserve under the law. So I commend the police, and going forward, we now know that Nigeria is coming of age in terms of the way to handle this kind of issue. So we must all now recognize the fact that we need to pull back at this stage. We need to allow this government to realize the courageous, policies that have been put in place for us to get the benefit of this as soon as possible. The last 2 days are not gains, they are losses to this country. A lot of businesses could not operate, people couldn't go to work. These are losses, these are not gains. And even prior to this time, since this notification was given, for 3 weeks, many dealers, many store owners are no longer taking goods from manufacturer, so that in case people are going to loot their store, so the stock will not be too much. So practically, we are shutting down the country when we say we are fighting for the good of the country. So it's a major issue that we need to think about. And I want to talk to the lawyers, those who have stood up to say they are lawyers to the protesters. I'm sure they now see why people were cautioning, were asking us to be patient, to use other forms of protest. And because there are many ways you can protest, not only when you are on the streets, when we all know what would come out of it, which we have seen clearly now. So I must now talk to those lawyers to please now reconsider that the reason for the protest, in the first place, when you look at the way the protest was named, it is named as bad governance. I have just mentioned just a few of what has happened in the last 1 year.